Good morning and welcome to another episode of All in the Mishpacha. This week's Mishpacha magazine is graced by Rabbi Moshe Scherer, man of principle in the halls of power. 25 years later, a tribute to Moshe Scherer after he passed away. He was a previous person who was an askan, an advocate for the American people. He was part of Agudas Yisrael, maybe the founder, I think, of Agudas Yisrael, which advocates a lot for Jewish causes in America. I want to talk today about an article which does not appear in this week, but partially appears. If anyone who reads Mishpacha magazine, certain people have a subscription to it, their favorite part of the magazine, usually most people, is this, the back page, which is the Kichels, which is not running right now. They have a temporary leave until Shavuos. I think one of the writers is on maternity leave. And they have something. One person wrote a letter last week that they're so angry that they even took out the Kichels to Shavuos. That's their favorite part of the magazine. It's the only thing which is actually humorous in the magazine. You'd think a whole magazine should have a little bit of humor in it. Well, they have the Kichels, which is everyone's favorite. And the first thing that everyone reads when they get the magazine, they turn right to the Kichels. They open up before Shabbat, they turn right to the Kichels. They want to see the Kichels. At the funniest cartoon whatever running, I don't know, funny. If anyone's read the Kichels, probably most people who read the magazine love it. They think it's hilarious. Now, I'll tell you my personal opinion. I think it's terrible. I don't laugh at anything. There's sometimes I might read it, I might chuckle inside myself. Like, that's cute, it's cute. What the Kichels really is basically a spoof on the frum yeshivish world. And it's not even, making fun of the yeshivish world. It's just pointing out, identifying some of the quirks and the idiosyncrasies of the frum world as we know it. This weird world that only exists in the frum world, which we try to make as different from normal world as possible. And we point out some of the quirks over here. Like here they have, because I think people were so upset, they put like half a kichel over here. What new from innovation is being advertised? The winning answer, the $300 seminary sweatshirt, a must-have for the girl who wants the schlumpy but stylish / frum but fun look, guaranteed to look like everyone else. Don't leave home without it, Marla. That's the winning answer. A sweatshirt for seminary girls costs $300. Their parents can't pay for it. It looks terrible, but it looks frum just like everybody else. Ha ha. Everyone's got to look like everybody else, right? It's cute, right? All the frum people have to look like somebody else. The runner-up, Swiss Army glasses for all your bucklers, yeshiva needs. Includes spoon for coffee stirring. Cute, because they don't only have a spoon to stir their coffee. Pen for notes and screwdriver for the occasional do-it-yourself, DIY. That he totally knows how to do, really, promise. No, Bakram don't know how to use a screwdriver. Of course not. Ha ha. And they say, of course, we'll be back with our regular Kichels content in the Shavuos issue. Fine. The Kichels, some of their more famous plot lines are talking about this girl, one of the girls who's looking for a shidduch. They make all, they point out the funny instances in the shidduch world, the funny quirks of the shidduch system. This girl can't find her shidduch. They want her to find her shidduch. She meets this boy, he has this problem. This boy, she has this problem with him. They've ran articles, like Cholamoy trip at the zoo, and they point to the different people at the zoo. Like, this is the person looking for the mincha minyan. Right. There's always a person at the zoo looking for the mincha minyan. Right, and this is the one with the kids that want to go home and they're wondering why did we come to the zoo? Because a Cholamoy trip to the zoo is part of Haredi or yeshivish lifestyle, from yeshivish lifestyle. They talk about sukkahs and they show, the person who, Mishloach Manos, the person who does the first class Mishloach Manos, spends their entire savings on Mishloach Manos. I don't know, the stupid things that people do. Now, the reason I don't find it funny is because I believe that true humor has to be something which touches on our human nature, our human elements, something which we share with humanity, not just with the frum Jewish world. What basically the Jewish frum world has done is taken and made, and I think Lakewood is mostly responsible for this, has made a different world. We're different, but better. We have a totally different way we do dating. We have a totally different way we do, community parties, community weddings are different. Everything. Our singers have to be different. Everything's got to be different in the frum Jewish world. The way we dress has to be different. You got to wear your black hat and white shirt. And if you're not so yeshivish, then you wear the blue shirt with the hat on Shabbos. Everything's got to be different. We got to be different. And there's so many different types of Hasidus. Everything has to be different. We got to be different than everybody else. And to point out, there's two problems. First of all, all you're doing is pointing out the idiosyncrasies and the quirks. Ha ha. Yes. I didn't realize that I was the only one who noticed that. Yeah, other people noticed it also. Ha ha. Very funny. But the truth is, it would be a little bit funnier if they actually made fun of the Haredi world, which they're trying to do by pointing out the idiosyncrasies, but in a more direct way. Make fun of it compared to the regular world. They never bring in the regular world over here. They only exist, the Kichels only exist in Mishpacha magazine, in the yeshivish world. That's all it exists. And when you're trying to point out idiosyncrasies or quirks of a world that is very small and very limited, and doesn't make a lot of sense, because a lot of the worlds does not make any sense. It's just done to be different. It's not funny. It's not funny. They used to have, for a while, a column by David Bashevkin, Rabbi David Bashevkin. I think it was called Top 5 or something like that, where he talked about top 5 of different things in the Jewish world. And he wrote about them, and it was mildly funny, a lot funnier than the Kichels. The Kichels, I look at it last, but just, I wonder what they say. So I don't look at it the first thing. Maybe I'll look at it one of the last things. I never really get any enjoyment. And most of the time I'm like, this is the worst humor in the world. And it's sad that people, this is their enjoyment. They're getting enjoyment from something that's not even funny. This guy David Bashevkin, he wrote a lot of stuff that, he was ridiculing a lot of the things that we believe are so sacred in our world. And I thought it was funny, some of the things. Some of the times it wasn't funny at all, but some of the times it was funny. It was quite funny. And they took it out. I believe they took it out of Mishpacha magazine. It ran for, I think, a year or 2 years, and then just stopped. What happened to it? I don't know what happened to it, honestly. I have no idea. Maybe David Bashevkin didn't want to do it anymore. Maybe he couldn't come up with more ideas. But in all likelihood, I'm assuming that it was taken out by censorship by the Rabbanim who oversee Mishpacha magazine. It's too funny. You're making fun of our lifestyle. You can't mock our own lifestyle. We have to just point out the idiosyncrasies. Haha, cute, right? So, and the second problem I have with it, which also applied to any humor that you make about the frum world, is that it has to be something that touches on human nature. Comedy is something where we all can relate to it on a human level, not just a frum yeshivish world level. It has to be something that applies to human beings. You go to a comedian. There's not too many comedians who focus on the yeshivish world. There's this guy, I think, Mendy Pellin. He's a Chabad guy. Apparently, he's funny. Whatever I've seen of him, I didn't laugh too hard. I think he does. He makes fun of the yeshivish world or pokes these types of jokes like the Kichels do. I didn't find him too funny. It's not so funny. But, I'm a person who puts out a lot of content which is funny. Because, I think about the world, and the content I put out is not Jewish content. I'm Jewish, but I don't put out Jewish content. I put out stuff that relates to all humankind. Obviously the shiurim that I give relate only to people that are actively Jewish now. Someone who's not Jewish is not going to listen to a shiur in Daf Yomi, at least right now. But most of the content I don't put, I see all these other channels on YouTube, Living L'chaim, meaningful people, meaningful minute. Even this guy Beryl Solomon, they're all putting out content To get viewers, they're talking about Judaism. They want to show, there's videos showing how they make matzahs, because the Goyim are very interested in how we make matzahs. They show these Hasidim dancing on Meron at Lag BaOmer. Hasidim dancing there was a video of Hasidim dancing at a chasna, doing one of their weird dances, these Hasidim, and most of there were it was like 350,000 people saw this video, apparently, and all the comments were written in Russian, and you translate it to Russian, like, where are the girls? Because there's no girls over here. That's something that's in human nature. Human nature is like, you dance with the girls, even though it's not a Jewish from concept, but human nature is, who are you going to dance with? Not going to dance with other men, dance with the girls. But these people are using our warped understanding of the Torah to show what Judaism is, to get views and to draw attraction to their channel, because people are mildly interested in why Jewish people do. Showing this stuff brings anti-Semitism. It does, because it shows how different we are than everybody else. Anti-Semitism, I've said many times, is not anti-Jewishness. It's anti-Semitism. Semitism is from Shem, who developed the first yeshiva. Yeshivish culture, being different than everybody, doing things differently than the rest of the world, that brings anti-Semitism. And to try to bring attraction to your YouTube channel by showing, hey, this is what we do different. We have these Hasidim, these people who are dressed really strange, dancing by a fire on Meron, on Lag BaOmer, which we don't understand exactly what they're doing. We don't know why there's such a big bonfire. The rest of the world, we were talking about bonfires last week. I was reminiscing with my mother-in-law. She's from Detroit. What did she used to do growing up, Lag BaOmer? What do you do in America on Lag BaOmer? They have no bonfires there. They go to play baseball and they give you donuts. I said, here they gave us rugelach, and we had a bonfire. I said, the baseball's better than the bonfire, and the donuts are better than the rugelach. Why do we do these things? I don't know. It's demeaning to the Jewish community to show these things and to bring attraction. This guy Beryl Solomon, he's telling you all about the Jewish view about tzedakah, about tithing from your from your thing, and you do business with the Jewish community, and you have to do tzedakah. He's telling you all about the nature of tzedakah. First of all, this guy does not know what the halachas are about these things. He's just telling you about charity and all these things and making it a worthy cause and showing how righteous the Jews are. That brings anti-Semitism. It does. It brings anti-Semitism to the Jewish nation. My channel is showing that I and my family and what I project to the world is just like everybody else. I might wear a yarmulke, I might be observant, but I'm not. My humor is humor that can be enjoyed by all of humankind. That's what we laugh about. We laugh about those things that touch on the fact that it's a basic human experience, those things that are buried in our conscience, but we can't bring into words. We never had the chance. People have never had a chance to bring into words. You point out something that we're all thinking, just we don't say. And you do it in a funny way also. You do it in a comical type of way, in a creative, comical type of way. That's the funniest type of stuff. Talking about those things, not just pointing out those things that are quirks in human nature, but also making a story out of it, making a plot, making fun, making a story out of it, and giving it sophistication. That's the best type of humor. The two funniest guys out there in the world right now, besides me, obviously, are I think Andrew Schultz is probably, he's not Jewish, but he's funny. Some of his stuff is not appropriate for people that are yeshivish, all of his stuff. And Steve Harvey, if there's one person I'd like to meet, the person I like to meet the most, they had a poll I saw on YouTube. They had four big athletes. Which one would you like to meet? One was LeBron James, one was Lionel Messi, one was Shohei Ohtani. Most people don't know who that is. He's a really spectacular baseball player now. Pitches and he hits. And Tiger Woods. Most people wrote, I don't want to meet any of the people. Now it used to be when I was growing up, people would die. We would want to see LeBron James, one of the best basketball players ever. You'd want to get his autograph, want to meet him. Nowadays with social media, it's basically equated everybody because LeBron James is posting on Twitter just like everybody else. No one wants to meet other people unless they have interesting, funny personalities. There's not too many personalities that are interesting. So the person I'd like to meet the most in the world is Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey, he's a black comedian. He's extremely funny. I mean, he is the funniest guy, I think, in the world. His reactions are classic. He has a lot of shows he does. I see some of these things on TikTok, on YouTube. He has great reactions. He's a wise person also. He has a show called Ask Steve, I believe, where they ask him questions about dating, about life. He has great answers. Very smart, very erudite, very wise, and very funny at the same time. He's really good at making it sophisticated, making the humor sophisticated. He dresses well. He presents himself well, but he's so human. He's so human, and he knows basically. Someone went and asked. There was a woman and a man, and they were a girlfriend, boyfriend. Maybe they're just married, and the woman didn't want to take the last name of the man. She said, "No, I don't take the last name of the man." So they had two people there. They had Steve Harvey and Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil is someone on TV who's an expert at helping in relationships. So they asked first Dr. Phil, the boy asked, "What should I do? She doesn't want to take my last name." So Dr. Phil says, "Well, you should talk to her a little bit about it, and maybe go see a therapist." I don't know what he said. He talked for a long time. You have to see why she's not doing that, and maybe you can do something to make her say that. And then they asked Steve Harvey, and Steve Harvey says to the girl, he says, "Are you marrying him, or are you marrying your father? If you're only married to your father, you keep your last name." He just said it straight out, because that's the answer. In 2 seconds, that's the answer. That's the truth. When you say the truth, something that we know is the truth, but we can't bring to our mouths, that's funny. And if you do it in a funny, sophisticated way with great reactions like Steve Harvey, it's even funnier. So, really, that's really what humor is all about. Funny, pointing out things that are quirks or idiosyncrasies in a small world, right? There's only a small percentage of people, yeshivish people, right? There's only 15 million Jews in the world, and how many are yeshivish? I don't know, 1 million, maybe 1.5 million in the world, maybe 2 million are yeshivish. So you're dealing with a really small sample size. And a lot of them, it's very segregated. There's so many different types of Hasidus. There's a lot of different types of Litvish. You got Yeshivish in America, Yeshivish in Israel, Haredi, Sephardi. How many people does this humor actually apply to? So it doesn't apply to a lot of people. And because you're making fun of something that most people can't relate to, and it's not human nature. It's a fake world that the Yeshivish world has created. It's not the real world. The real world, you go after Rov, you go after the majority in the Torah. The Torah tells you what the real world is. And it's not human nature. Something about the $300 seminary sweatshirt. I don't know. Do they have seminaries in the regular world? The girls wear $300 sweatshirts? Maybe some of them do. Maybe they're like Gucci sweatshirts. I don't know. But you want a stylish from but the fun look? I don't know. Is that funny in the regular world? I don't know. In the regular world, they don't dress with sweatshirts. They dress in bikinis. That's what the regular world dresses in. In the regular world, they don't wear glasses. They wear contact lenses, or they get the LASIK surgery. They're not like yeshiva bachram, stirring their coffee with their Swiss Army glasses. And the people know how to use screwdriver. Most people know how to use a screwdriver, yeah. In the yeshiva world, people have 2 left hands, but most people know how to use a screwdriver. So this is not relatable to people. It's a different world. It's a weird world we live in. To make fun, so to even point out the quirks is not funny. To point out the quirks is not funny usually, and to point them out in a very small sample size, which is not touching on human nature, is not funny at all. It's really, and it's called the Kichels for a reason. When you go to a kiddush, they serve Kichels with the herring. You only eat the Kichels to have the herring. No one likes the Kichels themselves. If you eat the Kichels yourself, you're an old man. Only old men used to eat the Kichels when they nothing else to the Kiddush. They had the Kichels. I think the ones with the sugar. I remember from my youth. The old men used to eat it. It's old men humor, sitting around. Basically, it's like inside humor, right? It's in a small sample size. And even for the people that are in the group, are part of the Shivish world, and who enjoy the Kichels, the jokes are like inside jokes almost. That's what it's like. Because it's such an insular world, it's not part of the regular world. It's like an inside joke. It's like a family joke. Like, haha, dad is always the one, that tells those stories, the old man who tells all those war stories. Or this is the person that spends too much money in the family, the person who's cheap in the family, haha. But it's an inside joke. It's not meant for the masses, and it's not funny. It doesn't touch on human nature. It's for a specific audience. and just pointing out their quirks, not even making fun of them. So the Kichels, 2 thumbs down. Get back maybe David Bashevkin, or maybe get someone that's funny. I think the reason that the Rabbanim censored David Bashevkin is because he was too funny. Rabbis say it's bad to have leitzanis, and leitzanis does not mean to laugh. Laughing is a great thing. It makes you happy. Leitzanis is when you mock something, when you mock people that, are, mock things which are truth. You mock the truth. Things that are the truth, and you mock them. But things which are fallacies in people have shortcomings, and you bring that out, that's a noble endeavor. That's laughter, comedy. Comedy is essential. Imagine if you took away laughter from people. You would took away fun and comedy from people. You would take away their life, right? The greatest form of entertainment is comedy. There's nothing greater than laughing. Nothing greater than sitting down to a good comedy show and laughing. So, I'm sorry, the Kichels, you should throw them out, put them in the garbage and have the herring with a different type of cracker. It's not even good with herring. There's better crackers for herring than Kichels. Throw the Kichels in the garbage. People are upset that it's not until Shavuos. Who cares? I mean, it's the word. I would recommend having something funny in there, but something funny that can, that can touch on human nature and not just touch on the closed, bottled up world of the Yeshivish community. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. See you next week.